Hey guys, and welcome back to another video, and this week I'm in London, so let's kill it. In today's video I want to talk about a controversial topic in the creative industry, and that is working for free. So the big question is, should you work for free? Now, in my opinion, you should definitely work for free when you're first starting out in any creative industry. Obviously mine is photography, and I'll explain a little bit why I would work for free, and I'll give you some questions to think about which might make you want to work for free. Number one, will this work gain you some paid work further down the line? It's something to think about. Obviously if you work for free and that work is in the public domain, i.e. social media, people might see this work and think, well, I want that photographer to come and shoot something for me, and it's at that point you can start thinking about charging. Number two, is this worth more than money to you? Now, the only example I can think about off the top of my head right now is if this work is for a charity. And obviously if it's for a charity, you want to do this work for free. It's for a charitable cause, and especially if you believe in it or it's a charity that's close to your heart, then 100% work for free. So question number three is, are you going to gain something from this that money can't buy you right now? So obviously when you're first starting out in photography, you probably don't have a whole lot of money. What money you do have, you've gone and brought a nice expensive body and probably a nice bit of glass as well. So you probably don't have a whole lot of money, and obviously you could gain something from this that money can't buy you, and one of those things may be exposure. Now exposure, you can buy exposure, and you can buy exposure pretty cheap. You can buy Facebook ads, you can buy Instagram ads, but ultimately the exposure that you could gain from this is whoever you're doing the work for. Do they have a huge social presence that people are going to see your work on? Is it going to be printed in local magazines or local media, or put onto local media, social, or printed in a national magazine, or whatever it may be? But that's the kind of exposure you want to reach out for, and if you're working for free, hopefully you'll get this exposure via the work, and then people might reach out to you. They've seen your work, they want to hire you, and obviously at that point you can start thinking about charging. Also something to think about when working for free. I mean, in the past I've done product photography, and then at the end of it I've got to keep the product, or I've done work for free where I've had to travel and they've sent me halfway across the country to do this work for free. You get to see a bit of the country, which is you don't normally get to see, which is quite cool. You never know, it might be exotic and you might get flown abroad in exchange for doing some free work. So think about those three questions, and if you've said yes to any of them, then you should probably work for free. It was a long day yesterday. Now, some free work that I've done that's turned out to be pretty cool is I've bagged a photo shoot portrait session with the CEO of Ted Baker, Ray Kelvin. So I was doing some headshots for a friend who had just started a business, and yeah, so doing some headshots for their website and their social media, so like LinkedIn and stuff like that. And I needed a location to shoot these headshots in. I didn't really want to do it in a studio. It wasn't really the business's vibe, like a standard white backdrop and all that kind of stuff. I needed something a little bit more unique. So I phoned a local office called This Workspace. Now you can rent office space from these guys. They've got a really cool office area, a really cool working environment. So get in touch with them. I'll drop a link below. Go check them out. So I gave them a call, spoke to them on the phone and said, I need a really cool environment to shoot these headshots in. Can I come and bring these guys in and do some headshots? It'll be 20 minutes, half an hour max, and I'll be out of your way. Now, what stemmed from this is that in return for using their space, I did some shots of their work environment, which they could use on their social media and on their website. So in return, they got something out of it, and so did I. Once I delivered these images of the workspace, the guys were pretty impressed and invited me back to like a startup business talk that they were holding, and it was actually Ray Kelvin, the owner of Ted Baker, that was doing this talk. and in return for me shooting the event for them, which I then supplied the images for free, I got a 5-minute portrait shoot with Ray Kelvin at the end. Now that is an opportunity you cannot turn away. The exposure alone, when you post that on social media and you hashtag Ted Baker, hashtag Ray Kelvin, it's going to be huge, and it was huge for me, and it got me some work. So that's just one example of working for free and how that's completely flipped, and I've ended up with a portrait session with a CBE and a CEO of a massive company. So definitely suck it up, do a little bit of work for free, and you never know where it might get you. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you found it interesting, if it's got you thinking about working for free, drop a little like, drop a subscribe, and we'll continue to make some of these videos. Catch you later, guys. Bye bye.